Hi, we're on section 4.3, increase and decrease problems, and that's actually the percent of increase and decrease. We will get to those in a minute, but there are also some other questions in this section that we'll talk about, and we're kind of working with that same base, rate, and portion that we talked about in section 4.2, where the base is the value we apply the percent to, the rate is the percent, and the portion is that number we would get if we multiplied the base by the rate. So this one is kind of a straightforward question. It is a sales tax question, and so we definitely want to talk about that because sales tax is a real application that we probably deal with most days of our lives when we buy something. So it says you're about to buy a refrigerator priced at $1,058. You must pay 7.6% sales tax. That was the old Springfield sales tax. I believe it's 8.1 now. First, find the dollar amount of sales tax, then find the amount you must pay including sales tax. Okay, so the portion in this case will be the sales tax. And our base is the 1,058. And we have a rate of 7.6%, and in decimal form that'll be 0.076. As you go through this class, you'll probably get real quick at changing a percent to a decimal, and don't use your don't use a percent key on your calculator because you need to know how to do this on your own to make sure that you're on track with everything that we do in this class. So 1,058 times our our sales tax rate of 0.076 is $80.41. So that's our portion, right? But it said find the total amount you must pay including sales tax. So of course we just add these two numbers, the 1,058 and 80.41. And that gives us our grand total of 1,138.41. So one thing you have to do is always read the question, and in fact when you finish the problem you should go back and read again and make sure that you did complete everything you were supposed to do, because often students will find the sales tax and just stop there. So reading, very important. Okay. I'm going to tell you up front, this is one of those ones that can be tricky. Okay, and so let's label portion, base, and rate on our circle. A customer orders 85,000 car batteries. If experience has shown that 7% of batteries produced will be defective, how many batteries must be produced to ensure production of 85,000 good ones? So I'm going to write the 85,000 good batteries here. Now remember that 7% are the defective batteries, right? 7% are defective. So that means, whoops, that 93% of batteries are good. So when you produce a batch of batteries, 93% of them will be good. Okay, so in this case we need 93% of some bigger number, and that will give us the 85,000 good batteries, right? 93% is the good percent, right? That's the number of good batteries, the percent of good batteries. And we are looking for the base. And you guys, once again, you just have to practice this to understand. So we calculate it by taking the 85,000 batteries and divide it by 0.93, right? 93% is 0.93 in decimal form. And that gives us 91,397.8. And we're just going to round that to a whole number. So we would need to produce 91,398 batteries to get enough good batteries, to get enough batteries produced to get 85,000 batteries that are the good ones, right? and the rest are the bad ones. And you guys, so many students calculate this completely incorrectly because they try to take 7% of 85,000 and add that on, and that just doesn't work because the 7% would be of the 91,398. So you have to know how to set this up to work it out correctly. Okay, so let me label portion, base, and rate. You receive your weekly paycheck in the amount of $465.50. If approximately 32% of wages goes to federal and state taxes, what is your weekly gross pay? Well, let me just make a note real quick. Gross pay is before taxes or before withholdings. So that's the actual amount you make. And then the other net pay is your take home. So in this case, your take home is $465.50. That is your net pay. All right. Okay. So my portion, right? The portion of the gross pay is the amount I bring home, which is $465.50. I hope that makes sense, right? That's a portion of my gross pay because it's only part of it. The rest of it goes for insurance and taxes and various things. Okay, so I'm looking for the base, which would be my gross pay, right? I'm looking for gross pay. And then it says if approximately 32% of wages go to federal and state taxes, what is your weekly gross pay? So the 32% is not actually the percent I'm going to use here. I'm going to use 68%. 68% of my gross pay is my take-home pay, right? 32% is the amount taken out of my gross pay, but 68% is the amount that I bring home. So that's another one of those that are a little bit tricky. So we take the $465.50 and divide it by 0.68. And that tells me that my gross pay then would have been $684.56. That's the amount we wish we brought home, but we don't get to do that. All right. Okay, the next one. What amount of wallpaper should you purchase if you need to cover 422 square feet of wall area and 15% of the material purchased will be wasted? Round to the nearest square foot, so that means a whole number in this case. And we have portion, base, and rate again. Okay, so the portion is the amount that we need, 422 square feet. 15% of the amount produced, the amount of wallpaper produced will be, we'll need to buy more. So 15% is wasted, basically, as you match things, you know, with your wallpaper. So I'm not going to be able to use the 15% in my calculation. I, in fact, have to use 85% when I calculate this, and I am looking for the amount I would need to purchase to cover 422 square feet, knowing that I'm going to waste some. So 85% of this amount of wallpaper would leave me with 422 square feet of wallpaper I actually put on my walls. I hope I said that right. Anyway, so we're going to take 422 and divide it by 0.85. Don't forget, we always change that percent to a decimal. We get 496.47. And we're going to just leave that, right? If we round to the nearest square foot, then that would be 496. I'm going to write it this way, right? Oh yeah, or you could say 496 feet squared, and that means the same thing as square feet. All right, so that would be how much we need to purchase. Okay, so I'm going to end this video and then we'll finish this lesson in the next video.